Hello, we're back with Barren Victory. This is the Union phase of the 1600 turn, and I think I'll just jump into the sequence of play. We're starting with issuing new orders. The Union has no new orders to issue. There's no core attack stoppage checks to make because the Union are not under any attack orders at the moment, although Negley just accepted orders to, I mean, Negley accepted his complex orders, but we don't check for core stoppage until the attack is actually, or an attack is actually started. So we don't do core attack stoppage check here. Initiative. I'm not going to roll any initiative for the Union. I'll talk in a moment about how I'm going to navigate this whole situation here. Delay reduction, there's several, I think there's 3 orders currently in delay reduction. One is to Van Cleve's division to essentially move to the south and support Reynolds and disengage from the Lafayette Road. And then 20th and 21st Corps are also under delay reduction. So let's do that delay reduction. And we don't even need that. All we need to do is to, here, I'm going to close that. Let's instead open our orders chart. Yes, and so we have 3 orders in delay status. So first we're going to roll for 21st Corps, who's in D1 status, which means the order is accepted if we roll a 1 or a 2. So we'll pay attention to the black dice here in the set of combat dice, and it's a 2. So 21st Corps' orders are accepted. Accepted at 1600. All right. So that will make the 21st Corps eligible to start implementing their orders to move north along the Lafayette Road, secure Davis's right flank, and drive the rebel army from the Lafayette Road. So they can start implementing that order during the movement phase of this turn. Now we'll roll for 20th Corps is in D2 status, which means they need to roll a 1 on the blue dice. And they do, so the Union is up and moving. So this order is accepted at 1600 as well. We'll come back to that order in a second in the movement and close combat phase. Oops, and then there's one more order one more delay status to roll on. D1 status for Van Cleve's division. So we're looking for a 1 or a 2 here. Does not get it. So Van Cleve's orders continues to be in delay. Let's go back to our sequence of play. New order acceptance. There's no new orders. Like no orders have arrived this turn, or arrived in the previous turn, causing us to roll for acceptance. Yeah, no orders have arrived this turn, so so there's nothing to do there. So we're going to move to the movement and close combat phase. Straggler recovery marker placement. The only brigade that the Union wants to try to recover stragglers is this one here, and there's already a straggler recovery marker on it, so there's nothing to do there. So let's go to the movement and close combat phase. first thing is to think about Van Cleve. Let's look at Van Cleve's orders. And these are orders he started this scenario with. That's the third division of the 21st Corps, has a divisional goal to defend the Lafayette Road between the Brotherton and Brock houses. So the question, so let's also look at the loss chart for the Union. So Van Cleve has one wrecked division. That's Barnes. That's the one who's going to roll on straggler recovery later this turn. And then Beatty's brigade is one loss from being wrecked. And Beatty's brigade is this counter here and this extended counter here. Now, if we were playing a real game, we would be paying close attention to the number of wrecked brigades, because one of the important victory point considerations for Barren Victory is the opposing side gets additional victory points if 50% or more of the brigades in any given corps are wrecked. So I, as a Union player, have an incentive not to wreck my brigades if I possibly can. Now, of course, that's only assessed at the end of the scenario, I believe. So I would have an opportunity, like I will have an opportunity to unwreck Barnes's brigade by recovering a straggler. And so, but a case could be made that I would, wearing my Van Cleve hat, could reasonably say, I don't want to wreck any more of my brigades, and I've successfully executed my order to defend the Lafayette Road in this area because Negley is just to my north and essentially ready, or almost ready to take over. That would be the reasoning that Van Cleve would go through to say, my current orders are to defend the Lafayette Road, but I think I've succeeded in doing that. Negley is here to relieve me. My orders would permit me at this point to withdraw from the Lafayette Road and let Negley take over. Now that's almost, and I think a good, if you're playing solo, I think a good mental exercise to go through before you did that as a solo player would be, suppose you were playing an opposed game and you were the Confederate side, would you be comfortable with your opposing player pulling Van Cleve off the line here, even though technically speaking he certainly does not have an explicit order to do that. I mean, his orders do say to defend the Lafayette Road, and if Negley's division weren't here, and I as a Confederate player would want to pull my division off the road, I think I would have to roll for initiative to get initiative for Van Cleve to do that. But I think the presence of Negley, who's at least almost ready to take over, changes the decision, because with Negley, if Negley is in position to take over, then I think it's reasonable for Van Cleve to interpret his orders as having been fully satisfied, just as if the order were to take a certain hill, and then once you've taken the hill, you've satisfied the order. I think Van Cleve would be justified if Negley can fully take over defense. Then I think Van Cleve would be justified in withdrawing his remaining units from the Lafayette Road and letting Negley's division take over. Now the thing is that Negley isn't quite ready to take over. There's one brigade here that will be able to move into this hex. They'll have to unlimber, or unlimber, or for a brigade that's switching from column to line. So they'll use 3 movement points to move from column formation to line formation, and then 4 here. So they can move here. This brigade can move into line formation for 3, and then go 4, 5, 6. So they can do it. However, this division here, or brigade here, doesn't have enough movement points to take over the line here. They'll spend, they could like move here for half, and then uh, it's 2 to move in column into the woods. So that's half, 2.5. The stream doesn't affect the column, but then they spend 3 to switch into line formation. So that would be 5.5, and they would not have the remaining movement point it would cost to move into that hex. So Negley is not quite ready to take over, fully take over the defense here. So with that in mind, I'm going to play a really strict game and just say to myself, as with my Van Cleve hat on, I've got to hold on for another half hour, one more turn, to give Negley the chance to fully take over the defense here. And at that point, I've achieved my obligation to satisfy my order, and I would be allowed to move my brigades off the Lafayette Road. Now, one thing I won't be able to do right away, until I accept the order that's in delay status, is I will not be able to move the Van Cleve division leader counter. That counter is bolted to this hex until it gets an order to move. And so while I would be allowed to withdraw these 2 brigades from the Lafayette Road, I can't move this Van Cleve counter until it accepts its order or rolls for initiative or something, gets in effect getting a new order to do something different. So I am not going to move in particular this counter here. I'm going to leave it in place with its 1 strength point of artillery. But what I am going to do is I'm going to collapse this Beatty's brigade into 1 hex. And the way I have to do that is I'm not allowed to just move this counter from here to here, because I'd be moving from one enemy zone of control to another. But what I am allowed to do is to go 1, I am allowed to go 1, wait, maybe I don't want to do that because I've got artillery there, don't I? Oh yeah, it's decision time. Because if I unlimber my artillery here, sorry, if I limber it, then it has to roll on the gun loss table and could even get eliminated. I think I'm just going to hold. I'm just going to hold for 1 more turn. Now what I can do is, so I'm going to leave these units in place just 1 more turn. Now I can move this brigade in still, even though I'm not moving out of the hex. I'm going to check a rule real quick on, I don't think the game specifies, like when you move into an occupied hex, how that affects stacking. I think you're allowed to stack it any way you want to. But let me just verify that, because I don't remember this coming up in a while. It's not there. Just going to check one more thing. Effects of friendly units, 16.4. Yeah, I think I can do it any way I want to. So I guess technically speaking, I would be allowed to, well, first let's flip it. So that's 3 movement points. Now I'm in line, and we can change our facing. No. Oh, I've got to stack all in the same direction, don't I? So I think I'll just move him on top. Now, strangely enough, Dick's brigade here has no casualties whatsoever. I hope I haven't missed anything, but I was looking at the loss chart before, and I noticed that somehow Dick has somehow remained totally unscathed. I think, nevertheless, I am going to move. What is it here? Sirwell's brigade from Negley's division on top, and then remember, so that will make Sirwell's brigade essentially, as it were, the lead uh, uh, brigade in this hex. And I would be allowed to change my facing now, so I'm going to go ahead and change the facing of both units here. All right, then I'm going to do essentially the same thing here with this. So he switches to line for 3, then 4, 5, 6, and he will change his facing. And I guess I have to align it with the other ones. Well, I can change. I think, yeah, artillery can change facing in a zone of control without being subjected to fire. So I'm going to reface everything in this division, or in this hex, by 1 clockwise. I'll just stipulate that he's facing with the other same direction as the others in the hex. All right, and then leave him in place. If I move him out, I'm just a little bit worried about possibly getting flanked here. And then, so this unit will move, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze. I'll keep him in column, so that's half along the road. And then 2 into these woods. And then 3 to move into line. And then he will stop. He doesn't have enough movement points to move anywhere else. Now this is a point, I suppose. Let's see, now what do I want to do with the Negley's divisional artillery? I can't move it into any of these hexes because these are all in the zone of control of an enemy unit. So I think the best I can do is to just move them one more hex and then put them in firing position, and then let's rotate them this way. For some reason, this artillery piece is rotating to a vertex, not a hex side. I don't understand why that is. Shouldn't do that. Might be a glitch in the there, now it is. Now it's to a hex side. There we go. Okay. Bit of a glitch in maybe in the module, but still a really good module. So we're done with that. Now this is the point, I suppose, where I should bolt down Negley. So I'm going to bolt down Negley into this hex here. So this will be Negley's, like, his fixed position for purposes of defending this portion of the Lafayette Road. And let's just make sure that everyone is in command radius. That's 1, 2, 3. Yep. So everyone's in command radius. And as far as the artillery here from Van Cleve's division, I think I'm going to leave it limbered so that I can move it if I want to. Another thing I could do is I could attach it to, or issue an order attaching it to Negley's division. I think I'm going to hold off on doing that for now. Okay, so I think I've got everything here the way I want it. And then next turn possibly I might be in a position to even think about close combating the Confederate side to try to drive them off, drive them away from the road, which is what my orders say to do. But not this turn. So then the other thing we have to do is we get to start moving both of these divisions up. So the Union definitely won the race here in terms of, who got to the Lafayette Road first with the most units. The Confederacy, had an opportunity to launch an attack before these two divisions made it up here, but they lost that opportunity. So let's look at. Just want to make sure I implement the orders as I wrote them. So let's go back to our orders. So would, well, let's see, I have it in terms of, so 21st Corps should move along the Lafayette Road, secure Davis's right flank, and drive the rebel army from the Lafayette Road. So Wood is going to move basically into this area here. So we'll see what we got here in terms of units. So two brigades. So they're going to stay in line, and they're going to go here. These will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And adjust their facing. Oh wait, I didn't do that. All right, I'm gonna start over again. I'm gonna just. All right, I got to do that separately for each. I can't do that as a stack. So first I'll just move the brigade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then do his rotation. And then he goes here. Now he started in line. The the instructions for the scenario say to start all artillery as unlimbered, so he has to flip for 3 and then go 3, 4, 5. I think this is actually a pretty good location for him. Very wide range of fire across all these clear hexes. So he will stay. He doesn't have enough movement points to unlimber, so he'll just stay there. And I'm going to put him at the bottom of the stack. If I left him on the top of the stack, I don't think it would make much difference in these circumstances. But if he was on the top of the stack, then he would be the unit that got fired upon if any Confederate unit were able to fire into this hex. By putting them in the bottom of the stack, that means that the brigade here would take fire from the Confederate side. The only exception to that is that enemy artillery is able to fire directly against artillery in an enemy stack, regardless of where that enemy artillery is in the stack. So, and then finally we're here, down here. Let's see, I'm just going to put wood to the side for a second. So you will go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine, and take the crossroads. And let's see. I think it kind of makes sense just to face it right down this road here. Put him here. Him here. And then wood has something like 10 or 12 movement points. Where do I want wood? I've got a lot of latitude here. I'm just going to put him. Well, see, I'm not operating under divisional orders here because the object of the order is the corps. So wood has to stack with one of his brigades. So I will stack wood here, and then finally the 21st Corps headquarters is now allowed to move. And let me just check for movement points here. Leaders. So leaders get 13. It doesn't list headquarters. I'm going to say that they've got enough, headquarters has enough to go wherever I want to in here. So I'm going to go, I think they get half to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 4. I think I'm going to put the corps here. But do I want to bolt it here? If they were to get pushed back, then I'd be tracing. Well, I'd be tracing command radius over that creek, but leaders aren't affected by streams, I should say. So I think this is, I'm not putting a lot of thought into this, but I think it's okay to put it there. Oh, and I moved the whole stack, but that's okay. Oh, the supply, I'm not going to move that off the road. I don't think it's even allowed to enter into wood, so I'll put it here. Well, I probably don't want to. That's a good question. Where do I want it? Um, you know what? I'm actually going to put it in a completely different location. I'm going to put it here, so it's not on the line of fire. Because if I get low artillery or something, then I'm going to want that. But I will put Crittenden there. And my divisional leader is well within the 8 leader movement point required command radius from corps headquarters to divisional leader, and then all the brigades are within the 4 leader movement point command radius to the divisional leader. So we're in, because we can use the road here, so we're in good shape there. Okay, so we've moved 21st Corps, now 20th Corps. Let's go back to our orders. Move 320 north on the Lafayette Road to defend the road near the Brock Cabin. So I'm basically moving 20th Corps up into this area here, along with Reynolds. So I have quite the unit at this point, or shortly, will have quite a density of troops to defend the road. Would it make sense to put these in column? I'm going to say not. I'll play really conservatively and say not. So I've got okay, the artillery is down here, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Oh, I should be. No, this is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would be allowed to move it here, but kind of just in the spirit of things, I'm just going to stop it there. Just put him here. Put that at the bottom. And then we'll move Sheridan here for command radius purposes. And then 20th Corps. Let's see. Well, first let's just move the artillery. So he'll unlimber for, or limber, I keep getting that wrong. Limber for 3, and then go 4, 5, 5.5, 6. I'm being kind of informal here, but I think I think it's actually maybe supposed to occupy its own hex. I'm not sure about that. And then Corps headquarters they can go anywhere, so I'll put it here. Cook can go there, and then the supply wagon can follow. So I think we'll call that done. So so I've moved all the units I'm going to move for the Union. Now one close combat I could do would be to close combat this unit into this one, because this unit, Dick's brigade, has not expended any movement points yet. The other unit in this hex is expended. It might be able to as. I should have been keeping better track of the movement points. I think it probably has enough as well. Let me check what it's. It's C morale. So if I did that, I'd have a C morale close combating against an A morale that's bloodlusted. The fact that it's bloodlusted means it would ignore all retreat results resulting from the close combat. So this I don't. It would be an aggressive move, very aggressive move to close combat in here. I'd be doing it just to accrue losses. On him, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing, to bloody that unit. I'm not going to, as a Union player, I'm not going to look at the loss chart. But is that a good use of? I could, when it comes down to the roll off, I could actually get a significant retreat result. But I do have Negley's brigade in this, Sirwell in this hex to. But then if I get a morale result, I would, as it retreats back, I believe it would also convey that morale result on any other unit in the hex as it retreats. So I'm not going to close combat then. I'm just going to be really conservative as a Union player and wait till next turn possibly to launch an attack after I've got everything in place. Could also do a close combat here. But Beatty's brigade is one loss away from being wrecked. And it's a B morale. This one's a C morale. I know that. I've got my alignment right so that even if I were to have to retreat out of this hex, I do have. I am putting a zone of control into this hex. You know what? The Union has a lot of. But Van Cleve's division, their order is to defend the road. Negley's division has a more aggressive order, the way I interpret it. So I'm just going to hold. I'm not going to do any close combats here. And then ammo resupply. No one on the Union side is at low ammo. So we won't do anything there. So now we're at the fire combat phase. We'll start with non-phasing fire and then phasing fire. Well, let's see. Maybe I'm going to just think one more second about what to do here, because this brigade will first get a shot on here, and then so there's a very high chance that this brigade will get wrecked anyways. If I do the so would it make sense to maybe do a close combat here? Well, no, still, I got to remember what Van Cleve's orders are. I don't think Van Cleve's, the way I'm kind of playing a conservative game here, and I don't think Van Cleve's orders are to defend the road. Now, it could be that Van Cleve could reason that the best defense here is a good offense, but I don't actually think that that's defensible here. At least not from Van Cleve's perspective, because Van Cleve has so much support here. So I think Van Cleve will just say, my job in this hex is just to defend it, because the order as I've been given is to defend the Lafayette Road. So I'm not going to do a close combat. So now we'll go to the fire combat phase. So now first non-phasing fire. So there's two Confederate units eligible to fire, this one and this one. So obviously he will fire into this hex. So this has, we check this, B morale, yep. And let's look at, and this is should be at A fire level. Let's just confirm that, just so that we're doing this right. So Clayton is at A fire level. So we'll roll here. Oh, well, first let's... So it's going to be 4 fire points. So we're on the 3 to 4 column. Not a great roll. 8 on this column is a 1. Straggler dice is irrelevant. Or sorry, rounding dice is irrelevant. Straggler die. Let's see, B, we're on this chart here. B morale with a 4. Oh, so one permanent loss, 1 straggler on Beatty. So let's mark that. So we go here, here, and here. And now that's the second. I think there might be separate marks like for these, but I just use the red X's. It works just as well. So now Van Clee's division is wrecked because two of his 3 brigades are wrecked. That will not affect Dick's defensive capabilities in any way, but if Barnes or Beatty have to take any more fire, they'll get a -6 row downward modifier on the morale table in any future combats. That doesn't apply to this one, this combat, but to any subsequent ones. Because if you're the wrecked brigade in a wrecked division, that's a -6. If you're a wrecked brigade in a non-wrecked division, that's a -4 row modifier. And then finally, our morale result is a 26. Let's just check these. I don't think none of these apply. Oh, we get +1 for being stacked with unlimbered artillery. I may not have been doing that before. So B stack 1, a 26 puts us here, no effect. All right, so that's that. Now here, this is B level fire. Oh wait, why is this in column formation? I think I checked it and left it. There's no way this brigade could possibly be in column formation. So that's a mistake on my part. I'm going to flip it. But it's B fire level, so it's not going to have much punch. I think that's a 2. B fire level at a range of 1 is 2. So we're on this column here. And this is the top unit now. It's a C morale. So we'll roll. 6 is just a morale check. No losses. Rounding die is irrelevant. Straggler die is irrelevant. So all we do is check for morale and a roll of 25 on the C's in this column, so no effect on the fire. Now the phasing player gets to do fire combat, so both of these brigades can fire into this hex here, and this brigade can fire into this hex here. So this will be a B and 2 artilleries, and this will be oh, wait a minute, there's 2 brigade. Oh, no, 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 no. I didn't flip him. Okay, no, no. This is, he should not be in column. I checked him and I forgot to flip him back, I think. So this will be an A. So A, B, and 2 artillery all at range 1. So A is 4, B is 2, and 2 artillery. I'm already forgetting what's in there. Yeah, 2 artillery at range 1 is 2, so that's 8 total. So we're on the 7 to 8 column here, rolling against the A morale unit that's bloodlusted. So roll our dice. 7 on the 7 to 8 is 1.5, rounds up to 2, and then a straggle 4. We add 1 to the die if the unit is, looks like bloodlust doesn't affect the straggler table. Interesting. So we rolled A on this one, this chart. So as a 4 is a 1. So that's 2 permanent, 1 straggler. On bait. Wait, yeah. That's going to wreck him. So 2 permanent means I've got to go. That's going to really mess with him, actually. So the 2 permanents will go here. So this straggler goes here. This straggler goes here. This straggler goes, this permanent goes here. These are the 2 permanents. I got this attack, and then one more. One more straggler puts him all the way down to sea level fire. So that brigade is done for all practical purposes. And we'll mark that one of Stuart's 3 brigades is wrecked. All right, so then we need to, as a final step, well, we need to check morale too, so let's do that now. But remembering we got to put a C fire level combat on marker on there. So for morale, we rolled let me just make sure I check all modifiers here. We don't apply the wrecked brigade yet. That will be in any subsequent attacks. So we're on the A 54. Oh wait, if you're bloodlusted, you don't roll on this chart. You don't roll up here. You roll on this. You just if you're bloodlusted, you just roll on this. So the only effect is this brigade is no longer bloodlusted. So I'll delete that count. Oh, I'm going to definitely undo that. I want to delete just the bloodlust, and then we want this to actually decrease to a C. But he does not have to retreat. Okay, so there's that, and then here, so 1B and 1 point of artillery get to fire into this hex, so that's 2 plus 1 is 3, so we're on this 3 column here. and this has morale C. 10 is a 1.5, round up, so that's 2. A straggler, a 1 on a C, I don't think will, oh, it does, look at that. A 1 on a C, we're on this, yeah. So, um, so 2 permanent, 1 straggler loss. Yikes. This is Clayton. So Clayton gets this here, this here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes, and he's wrecked. Yikes. So Stewart's brigade is, or division is now, oh, it's not wrecked yet, because it looks like all the brigades have to be wrecked before the division is considered to be wrecked. But not good, not good. For, I mean, again, if we are counting, if we're actually going to count victory points at the end here, then this would not be good, because it's really not that easy to recover stragglers, as we'll see. So that's, oh, then we, on the morale, we rolled a 33 on the C. That puts us in this column here, no effect. There are no modifiers that apply. So we're done with fire combat. Yes. So now we go to our rally phase. First is straggler recovery. So here we're going to roll to see how many strength points we recover. This is a D morale unit. And now if I would have been able to put Van Cleve in here, then I think, doesn't list it on the chart here, but I think that would have given me a boost here. But Van Cleve is bolted down here, so I can't do that. And I should just be checking, but verifying, but yes, I am 4 hexes away still from any, this brigade here is 4 hexes away from any enemy combat unit, so it is eligible to recover stragglers. So we're going to roll a 1d6, so we'll do the blue die here. Rolled a 5 on the D, and he does recover 1 straggler. So again, this is Barnes. So that means 1 straggler comes off, and then that brigade is no longer wrecked. So we'll take that off. All right. So we've covered stragglers. And then rally. There are no Union units that have any morale states like shaken or disorganized or routed, so there's no rallying to be done, and so the turn is over. So I think this has been a longer video than I thought it was going to be, but we definitely saw some movement here by the Army of the Cumberland, and I would say the things are looking bad for the Army of Tennessee right now. But I'll end the video at this point. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.